Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33 teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning, everyone. It is the 29th of July. We've got lots to talk about and rehash what's happened over this last week and this last month, because we're moving into a really powerful month. But before then, don't forget that if you're listening to this on the Beacon app, on YouTube, on Spotify, I'm just a small me business, so all your support really makes a big difference. Liking, tagging, sharing, subscribing, letting people know that this platform exists. It enables me to create more resources for you, and your subscriptions all goes towards the growth and the upkeep of this app, which is a full-time job. So thank you so much for being here. I love doing these recaps with you because for me, it's like a journal entry of what's been going on, because I'm on this journey with you. It's not just me teaching you, you're teaching me, Spirit's teaching me, and then I pass that on to you. We are unbelievably the last week of July, and we're going into the month of the eighth month, which is August. It's the year of the 8 because all the numerals of 2024 add up to 8. And I've been waiting for this month to come around to see what is going to happen and how it's going to affect us and what we're going to be asked to heal within ourselves. Now, those of you who've been listening to the Monday Mantras for years, I've been doing these for quite a few years now, and this is about you applying a soul progression lesson into your life. The more you meditate, the more you follow the lessons, the more disciplined and devoted and committed and persistent you are with your healing and spiritual journey, the more that you will resonate and understand what is being said of you, what is being asked of you, what is being required to heal. But those of you who are more new to it, look for how you can apply the lessons in your life, because they're important. We want to be able to live with some sort of fulfillment and understand what challenges can be for. And I always focus on the positive sides of things, even though, there's always the other side of things as well, but we're focusing on what we can actually do. Last week's Monday mantra, I brought in that Krishna consciousness energy because that is what I was feeling in terms of his energy on his birthday and, the portal that I entered in through the vines. And it was all in time for the energy of the week, which was, I have the freedom to have what is rightfully mine. I have the freedom to have what is rightfully mine. We had that strong full moon coming in the few days before this Monday mantra, and we're in this full growth mode, and we know that when we are growing, we need to release all that dead weight because we can't hold on to people or things anymore that is of the old. We're going into the new versions of us where we don't want to carry sabotaging feelings, which happens to all of us, whether it's sabotage in the mind or sabotage in our emotions or whatever, but it's how we transform that so we're not sitting in doubt or fear. And remember, using all of those things as a teacher, because that full moon that we had was about the teacher energy. What is this teaching us? How is this building our strength for what is to come? The restless energy was quite interesting for me as I went through last week, because there was this feeling of anticipation and wanting to get things done and wanting to know, but there were things that I couldn't control that is already applying to this week's energy, actually. Now it makes sense to me as I'm talking about it, where we are not being asked to act impulsively. Planning to the nth degree is not happening at the moment. It's something that we're being asked to go to a place of a little bit of spontaneity, which means not reckless spontaneity, but just let's see what shows up. Let's see what happens, because we can't control certain aspects. Not doing things from a place of pain. This is really easy to do if we are used to being the victim and reacting rather than responding to life. When Krishna's energy came in, it was about devotion and persistence, sticking to a plan, which was so interesting that I said this because I was listening to something later on in the week, and it was my friend had put me onto this lady who was 103 years old, and she's a holistic medical professional, and she even has a plan. And I was thinking, so interesting that this information's come to me to validate what I got in terms of the energy for all of us, because we need to stick to the plan so that we can handle more in our lives. Because when we have a plan, if we fall off, we know where to get back on. It gives us a purpose. It gives us something to work for. Our birthright is the freedom to be able to work towards what we want and how we want our life to be. And we all have the ability to create that. The analogy that Spirit had given me was the teeth thing. So I was really fascinated with all the messages that I got or saw where people were having teeth sensitivity, or something was going on with the teeth. Now, I said it wasn't necessarily about the physical thing about the teeth. It could have meant that for you, and for some of you it was. For me, I didn't have any teeth issues, but I was hearing about them, and also within my family, because for me, the energy and the analogy that was given was about the function of the teeth and what we use the teeth for. So I thought that was really fascinating. And for me, it was the digestion of life, digesting, the masticating of the teeth to be able to digest. So for me, it ended up being this way into the digestive system, digesting everything that's happening, which is a form of accepting what is happening. So that's a key message that's coming through for all of us. Holding on to using the any pain that we're experiencing as fuel to keep us moving forward on the plan. This can be the physical plan that we've created for ourselves, as we know, that quote where God laughs at us when he hears he's got a plan, something along those lines, because there's a divine plan, but it's also the divine plan going along with the surprises of that. Hold on to your vision and know that you are at the center of the power to get things done. And it's the things that you're getting done, it needs to come from that place of freeing yourself. I'm in my 40s now, but as I always tell you, and I firmly believe this, I just get younger. Because remember, our cells are regenerating themselves every day. So I always have that visualization, and I'll create a meditation around this too, where the cells are going back to the original blueprint, because that's the healthiest form, because usually our cells will replicate from the previous version. We want to go back to the start, because when we've let go of all of that. So I can feel that cell regeneration actually happening through me into you now. So take that energy in that's coming through my frequency to yours. Holding on to that vision, knowing that you're making decisions that are going to free you. Now, we're thinking beyond the physical, but if you're thinking physical, you want to make decisions that are going to free you with time, free you with money, free you with the ability to make those plans, free you with the ability to be more mobile and spontaneous. Whatever it is, it's about freeing ourselves back to the birthright, back to the original cells that we came to earth with on a physical level. Life has felt like an initiation for a while. Tell me about it. I also have things going on in my life, and I'm going through all of this with you. That initiation, though, is going to make us stronger, because that's going to be the teacher for us, the teacher of preparing us for more. There's going to be something better that's coming, and I firmly feel that. The roles that we were asked to embody last week was that of the mother and father. And it was interesting, in the group chat, someone had said that in the divine masculine healing, I was talking about the masculine being on the left-hand side. Now, remember, I live in New Zealand. I have had a lot of connection with Māori healers, and Māori healers believe that the masculine is on the left-hand side and the feminine on the right. And I found that fascinating that came up, because I'd forgotten that that's what came through in the divine masculine meditation, and someone addressed that. But what it reiterated for me that came up was that these roles are not actually rigid. These roles are not about which side, because traditionally, yes, feminine is on the left and masculine on the right. But it doesn't matter, because at that time, I was being shown that just interchanges. It doesn't actually really matter. It's what comes through at that time. And we needed that masculine energy to be able to represent the freedom that we're trying to create, and the feminine energy to let go and be in the flow, okay? And that is being like, okay, I can't control this. This is just what it is. I'm going to digest this and accept it. And then I'm going to lead and do what I can to execute the ideas that I have using that masculine decisive power that this is what I'm going to be doing, and the feminine power to create what is good in the world, create what is good for everybody in the world, and not having selfish or harmful intentions of anybody. And remember, jealousy and envy are also harmful because that energy goes towards that person. So it's a human thing, right? Sometimes we feel those things because perhaps we're not where we thought we would be. But you need to have that awareness to come back to that and use it as a place to grow from. It's nothing about externally what's going on. It's about what's internal. This whole month has been about grounding into our life and grounding into the disruptions that are coming in, because it's coming in to restabilize us. And any disruptions are so that we have no excuses anymore. No excuses to be in resistance mode, no excuses to be in survival mode, but to be in truthful representation of us. This month of July was asking for us to be bold and be leaders, and for some of us, that has been forced upon us, even though we didn't really want it. But it is to restore the passion in our life, to feel safe in our life as being us. So it's been a really big month. Now, as we make a transition into August, we really want to utilize this energy. We want to utilize this 888 power that we've got coming in, because I know for me being Malaysian as well as Sri Lankan, because Malaysia is where all my family are and where I was born, you know, the 8 is really important, especially in Asian cultures as well, which Malaysia is an Asian culture. It's just a melting pot of different cultures. The hope that I love the peacock stories and the Krishna stories that I was hearing, that energy I still feel is there. Devotion, commitment, all of those things, which I'm going to talk about as I move through now the other posts that I wrote. The renewal card came up, and I love this because we haven't seen this card as a collective for a while. And the renewal card came in because the essence of the week came back to what is rightfully ours, right? Everyone is sticking up for themselves in some way. And it could be in subtle ways where you're choosing yourself first, where your self-love is really amplified right now because you feel like, actually, you know, this renewal is about me. And it's rightfully my right to be able to go and do what I need to do to top myself up. And in itself, this renewal energy comes to an existing situation. So look at your life. Where are you at now? What is going on for you? And rather than feeling trapped or stifled, think about the renewal energy that's asking to actually come in to cleanse that whole situation, because we feel stuck when there's actually something to do. And we feel stuck if there's something that we need to change. We could be experiencing the same thing without feeling stuck if we accept and look at it as a renewal process. Renewal is about us now transforming our pain into power, feeling the sense of our rebirth rather than instability or insecurity. Everything dies and renews itself in some form. These initiations we've been receiving are now showing us how they have prepared us for the renewal or for more freedom to come in. So the renewal card came up to help us remind ourselves that we're letting go of the dead weight, and then renewal sets in. And the dead weight may be just your attitude and perception to what is going on, because we're being renewed through freedom, and we deserve to have that freedom in whatever way that is applicable to you. The Krishna consciousness energy. I was mesmerized by the vine portal that I looked at on that white wall going on my beach walk, and that Krishna is here, that supportive energy to know that regardless of what is going on, that there is this flow, this divine plan, this renewal, this cleansing that is happening for all of us. And being on his birthday, I knew it was about birth and being reborn for all of us too. And at this time of chaos, which we're still going to be in for a while, but we're focusing on what we can do, there will be a reward, and it will be given through Krishna's cleansing and renewal. So whether you believe in Krishna, it doesn't matter. It's not about the deity. It's about the energy behind it of cleansing, renewal, purification, joy, devotion, persistence, freedom. If you look at depictions of Krishna, he's playing his flute and walking through the Vrindavan gardens and being in constant joy. That's what we should all be. That is our birthright. And he has come for us to remember that this pure state of freedom comes from being devoted and not being caught up in the chaos. Krishna is here to help us achieve a soul and a life of freedom. This is our birthright. The extended meaning of the Monday mantra: what is rightfully yours isn't an expectation or a demand. It is the right to decide whether you're going to flow or fear and represent yourself truthfully. I had the opportunity, some of you would have seen my stories. It's been a year in the making. It's how long things take to do. But Emilio Oritz, an amazing young man who has a podcast called Just Tap In, interviewed me, and he's based in Colombia but travels around. So we'll have to wait for that when that launches. But what I loved about me having that experience last week is that I could truthfully represent who I am and share what I know to be able to help everyone renew themselves and look from a soul perspective rather than from the human perspective, which is what gets us caught in the chaos. And truthful representation doesn't need to be forced. It doesn't need to be coerced. It's not demanding someone to change. It's you knowing that you are truthfully representing yourself in whatever way that means for you. And therefore, the more that you vibrate at that level, the more that you're going to be attracting truthful representation to you too. Really think of what those words mean. Am I truthfully representing myself? And that in itself is giving me freedom. Because remember, we live in a world where everyone's comparing, everyone's judging, everyone is, oh my God, how can I be better than this person or look better than that person or whatever? That's all not truthful representation. Just being authentically you is the truthful representation. I'm actually really excited to talk to you about this week's Monday Mantra, which we're going to get to shortly. But remember, I'm one person. I'm doing the best that I can to support all of you. There are many things that I offer to support you: mini readings, soul magics, personalized meditations. Of course, this app, which I've made as affordable as possible. And there's a link to subscribe or renew. If you don't know how to do that, please email Karen. And if you need to go on a wait list, it is always the right time to find me, but there are other ways, so you don't need to be waiting forever if you're needing some brief guidance or energetic support. Soul33@gmail.com, and it's only $60 a year for this app. I still pay thousands and thousands of dollars to prop this app up because I want to keep it affordable for you. So the more that you share and let people know about this, it helps me use those subscriptions to create more for you. And we've got more plans. It's just that I need to bring in some subscriptions and then invest back in the app again. So thank you so much for your support and being patient with me as I'm trying to work through in a sustainable way to help everybody at all income levels. Okay, this week's Monday Mantra. This is super interesting because we're going into the month of August and there's a lot of things going on this August. There is Mercury retrograde pretty much for the whole month. Now that starts on the 4th, and it goes till like the 27th, I think, or 28th. I'll confirm those dates, but pretty much for the whole month. We've got a blue full moon this month. We've got Lionsgate portal. And as I'm looking at my notes, let's have a look at what I have said. This month, I mentioned there is going to be chaos. I feel, and I'm choking when I say this, excuse me, there's going to be chaos. And I'm not saying it's in our lives. It could be in minor ways because everybody can handle a different level of chaos, and it could just be in a form of just there's so much to do. But there's going to be global chaos. There's going to be global transformation. But that's why I've written in my notes here that Spirit has said to me, there's going to be reward from chaos this August, okay? I kind of know what's going on for my month, for the parts that I've planned, but then we're leaving it up to Spirit to tell us what else is going on. Okay, your Monday mantra this week, right? This transition from July to August. This was so fascinating. My communication is upgraded. So I started choking, right, when I was talking about August energy. My communication is upgraded. I will allow alchemy to transform. My communication is upgraded. I will allow alchemy to transform. Okay, we don't make a change to August till this weekend, but there's a lead up and a shift in energy. And I love how Spirit stressed the word alchemy to me. So let's think about the word alchemy. Those of you who have read or listened to the audio book, The Alchemist, it may be a good time for you to do that. It's a very short book, but very meaningful and powerful. And when we think of the traditional sense of alchemist, it's chemistry, taking something and turning it into something that's more, like taking lead and turning it into gold. Now, if we think of that, and we think that Spirit is asking us to use the word alchemy as part of our week and connect it to our communication, not just communication with other people, but Spirit says our communication is going to be upgraded, which also makes sense because going into Mercury retrograde, it's about communication. Therefore, the alchemy is around the treasure that's going to be discovered from the base metal. And I've put here, find a metal of your choice. Now, those of you who watch these videos and know me, you know I love jewelry. I'm always wearing it. Even when I'm home alone, it'll be on. But you know how we had those discs put into us by Goddess Isis a few weeks ago? That's our magnet. And that, as we're talking now and you're listening to this, I can feel our magnets being activated. But can you just do a check-in with yourself? Now, if you can close your eyes right now, check in with yourself. See if your magnet has moved in your body. So where is it in your body now? Okay. Now look at the metal. Has it changed? Is it copper? Is it lead? Is it aluminium? What is it? What is the metal that is inside of you now? Now, those of you who wear jewelry, pick an item of jewelry that you're going to use as your conduit of metal this week and wear it. Those of you who don't wear jewelry, pick a coin within your currency or something that you have, a silver coin, a silver dollar, whatever, and keep it with you this week as your metal that is going to be set now through the frequency that I'm going to give you. So you might be listening to this a second or third time or fourth time during the week. Bring your metal with you and hold it when you're listening to this, because I'm sending that energy of alchemy to transform. So I put here, find a metal of your choice. The magnet that we brought in from a few weeks ago is going to be using your physical metal to alchemize, to transform, to bring you a treasure. And Spirit gave me the 7 of Cups before I came online to record this. And when we look at the 7 of Cups, it is all the cups, which are metal golden cups, and inside each cup there's either a treasure or not a treasure. And this is about a week of opportunities. And when we are looking at the treasures, not all of them are gifts. So therefore, we're wanting to amplify with our jewelry or with a metal coin or something metal, okay, even if you're not a jewelry wearer, that will be the conduit to attract things. 7 of Cups, making sure that what you are picking is actually going to transform into what you want, more money, more whatever, more power, more freedom, which is what the energy is, and rewarding yourself in a way that is going to give you the reward, the cup with the reward in it, rather than one with a dud in it or one that's going to give you more issues. So the 7 of Cups was the third eye tarot that came in. Spirit is asking and saying that there's an element this week of using our minds really wisely. When Mercury is in retrograde, it doesn't matter whether people are following whatever astrology. I'm tuning into the energy, and I do feel whether Mercury is in retrograde or whatever, there is going to be this focus on communication. And I feel like we have to be clear in the mind, because if our mind is boggled or full, it's very hard to alchemize and see the treasure, because we're coming from a place of confusion. And being grateful for what we have is really, really important, because that's going to amplify our metal. It's going to amplify that this is where we're wanting to grow this particular metal to attract within our magnet in our body the treasure that awaits us. Spirit has said that using our mind for prayer, for thinking first, using it wisely, is going to help us receive and connect with what we're asking for, rather than the surprises that we don't really want, the chaotic bits, okay, which we learn from. So we know if we receive them, we learn from them. We don't need to buy into it because we're looking from a different perspective, but we're wanting to alchemize, to transform one thing to something greater. They have said there may be some changes in the body this week. Women, your menstrual cycles may be changing, okay? And I'm feeling this hormonally also. And for men, hormonal changes too. You have hormones, it's just that your cycles are more frequent than ours, not as long. And it may not just be hormones, it may also just be body things coming up. So pay attention, because remember we talked about teeth, so that's why I was finding it interesting that Spirit's brought in the body, because our body is the vessel that also needs to upgrade with the spiritual changes. So pay attention to what your body is telling you. And write in the group chat, share what the synchronicities are, share what is going on, how your prayer and contemplation is coming to you in this beautiful chalice with diamonds and gold and all of that stuff in it, which is what the metaphor of wealth and abundance and prosperity, which is what we're going to be rewarded with. And what that means to you is what you want, what you're looking for in your life. Prosperity and wealth means different things to different people, but to most it means financial. We are heading into that communication energy with Mercury retrograde, so monitor communication, because it doesn't start until the weekend when we change the month. This is why that chaotic part is still there. But if there's inner conflict, make sure you're not getting into outer conflict because your mind is not clear. We have to really control our minds during this time. And then for us as women, and I'm speaking for myself, that hormonal part of us can sometimes speak rather than the intellectual. So we need to be a little bit more monitoring that, which is what I'm also doing as well. Allow extra time to reply, because you need to think clearly for yourself and everyone around you to process what you are saying. Any delays, don't get frustrated with delays. Allow them to come back to this place, the delays, coming back to a place of, actually, this is going to give me the space for the best outcome. So a delay is going to give you a better outcome. So look at a delay as something that's going to help you, not hinder your growth or opportunity. The energy of bringing in more wealth is here. So I did mention that earlier. And what you decide to do this week will be setting you up to generate more. What you decide in your brain and how you decide to act and how you decide to pray for it and alchemize what you've got is how you're going to generate what more that you want. You'll find yourself, still in this position of feeling unstable or unsafe. We have got a new moon. I'll talk about that more next week's Monday Mantra, because it's around that time. It's the transition. That's why there's all these weird transitions going on this week that we need to harness. So with that new moon phase, it's really coming from a place of what you want and what you know is right for you, because it's a new moon phase. But there is a little bit of that unstable, unsafe type of feeling, and that's because of the chaos energy. But if you can accept what is happening and you are able to hear what your soul is telling you that you can use this for to alchemize, to bring in more, then you know that you're coming back to a place of improving and progressing. There is a lot there to unpack. So, recap is communication is being upgraded. So, rather than seeing it as a detriment, it's an upgrade. If there are any delays, alchemy is going to help you transform using your metal, whatever you choose that to be the starting point for transformation. And knowing that chemistry is a word that Spirit has said also. So this could even be sparking new chemistry between you and somebody else or something else, finding again the passion for things. And that Seven of Cups energy of intellectual mind needing to be clear. Be careful what you're praying and what you're thinking, because that is what you're going to receive. And whatever you receive through your alchemy, you want the Seven of Cups to be the cup that is full of what you want rather than what you don't want. So we have to be very, very careful with our not sabotaging with all of this energy that we've got to support us. Now, if you close your eyes for a moment, we're going to reactivate now. If you can close your eyes, if you're driving, please do not do this, just listen. We're going to reactivate now the magnets that have been placed inside us, knowing that the metal may have changed from what was placed within us, and the placing of that magnet has changed from weeks ago when it was implanted energetically into our bodies. And now, if you don't have your piece of jewelry on you or your coin or whatever, just think about what you're going to use. And I'm going to send the energy there of alchemy transformation to that particular metal that you are going to use as your conduit this week. And you're going to look for metal. You're going to look to metal as a conductor this week. It's almost like, even if you have, I don't know why I'm being told this, if you have the opportunity to be near volcanic rock, bring a piece home if you can, asking permission first. Put your feet on the earth and absorb the metals from the earth. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting, but I can feel it all going into my body, knowing that this is all grounding you into more of who you are, your birthright. I'm here for you. There's many ways to connect with me, and if you need any help or you're wanting to invest in your personalized meditations, which is such a great way for you to heal yourself with my frequency that I record specifically for you, Kieran is the person to email, soul33@gmail.com. We've added in another quiz, and I'll keep adding them. They're for fun, but they're also for serious, and do them at different times, because sometimes when I have a new intuitive hit, I will go in and change the questions and things like that. But for now, I'll be building up that folder in the Soul Lab so that you have some things to work on and think about. Your Monday mantra: my communication is upgraded, frequency upgrade as well as verbal upgrade. I will allow alchemy to transform. That Seven of Cups, we want that cup to be filled with what you want, and it starts from in the mind and what you send up to the universe to help support you.